everybody? Joe Chambers in the check-in. Welcome to another episode of Pundit Media TV. It's Thursday, September 17th. Kickoff Sunday obviously happened on Sunday, and Monday they had two Sunday night games. And my picks were pretty much held to be true for the most part that I gave on, I believe it was Sunday or maybe Saturday, the day before kickoff. Not so surprised about the Cowboys game. I don't want to really get into football so much in this episode. Maybe Saturday as we get closer to the next week. But as far as a lot of things happen, as far as Sunday night's game, I don't understand why the Cowboys were in field goal range and they chose to go for it with 11 minutes left in the game. I believe they still could have kicked the field goal. They wound up stopping the Rams from scoring for the rest of the game. So I believe they would have got an opportunity to, come down and score and then still stop the Rams from scoring. Or even if not, at the end of the day, they didn't score. So you kick that field goal and nobody else scores, you're going to overtime. But to go for the win so early in the season, not that it really, demolishes your season or hinders you, because you can bounce back from this. Teams have, lost the first game and go on to win the Super Bowl, but yet and still, I just felt it wasn't necessary. It was too risky, too early in the game. It wasn't needed. As far as the pass interference call, you could go over and over about whether it was or wasn't, but you don't want to rely on the referees and one call to affect whether you win or lose or not. So a lot of things could have happened. We had opportunities to win the game. It just didn't happen the way it happened. The Saints and Buccaneers game was interesting. I won't make so much of it. It's Tom Brady's first game. He's still getting acclimated to these new guys, a new system. There's no training camp, so no preseason. So these guys getting on the same page is gonna, be a little while. I was pleased with Kyle Murray's performance. I didn't realize how fast this guy is. This guy is really fast. When I see him on that scramble and run onto the end zone, I didn't know how fast this guy was. The acquisition of DeAndre Hopkins helps tremendously because it gives them an actual threat. And let's not forget the fact that they still have Larry Fitzgerald. So that tandem right there, it's gonna be fits for a lot of teams going against them. So it's gonna be interesting to see the Cardinals this season. Moving on to basketball, I called it, before the series started. I called it before the got closed out. The Houston Rockets are just not that good. James Harden and Russell Westbrook are, once in a generation talents. They can score the basketball tremendously. But like I said, with the D'Antoni teams, that's all these guys do. They know how to score. They know how to put up points. They score in various ways, flashy scoring, step back threes, and Russell Westbrook attacking the rim the way he does. It's not going to get you anywhere. At the end of the day, no matter what people want to say, defense wins games. It's just that simple. And you want to bring up the Warriors play defense. Before that, when they had Mark Jackson, he was implementing the defensive part. Steve Kerr came into the situation and just made the offense of the Golden State Warriors more efficient. Then, of course, they got Kevin Durant. That turned them to something totally different. But nonetheless, they won the championship before they got KD. And it's built on defense. That's just how it is. Defense wins games. I don't care what kind of offense you put up. The Lakers, they play defense. They got rebounds. The team is just taller than them, bigger than them. You can't coach height. When you get rebounds, you give your team second chance opportunities, and you take away second chance opportunities from the next team. So I knew this was going to happen. I'm not surprised at all. I love Russell Westbrook. I don't know if him and James Harden is a good complement to each other. I just don't know. When they were on OKC together, James Harden was just the third guy, and he didn't develop into who he is now. But both those guys need the ball. They play good during the season, but will it be a recipe for championship winning basketball? Not this year, clearly. And this team just has to get bigger. You can't come with this small team and think you're going to be in contention with the Lakers and just other teams who have height and talent. moving on to another series, which was a shocker for most, is the Clippers and the Nuggets. I was telling a guy, a friend that I know, before the series started, before even the playoffs started, let's wait and see what goes on with, the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm 37 years old, so my vision of the Clippers is something totally different. I remember when they were at the bottom of the league, the laughing stock of the league, and then he got buzzing a little bit when they had Lamar Odom and Darius Miles, Quentin Richardson, and those guys. They were buzzing a little bit. That was short-lived, and now they got themselves a good team, but they're still a team that's still trying to find themselves. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of pieces that's just put together, and they have to develop chemistry. Kawhi Leonard is still a great player, as well as Paul George, but apparently, team basketball wins over isolation basketball, and I can't even say necessarily isolation because these guys are not ball hogs and the one-on-one players. But the Denver Nuggets is a team. They've been a team that's been brewing for a couple of years. They have the chemistry. They know how to work well together, and I just think these guys are still learning how to play together. As a unit, and I think that's pretty much what it boiled down to. Jamal Murray and the Joker combination has been, definitely something to watch this postseason. They already went down 3-1 in two playoff series, once against the Jazz, now against the Clippers, and they knocked both these teams out. Now they move on to play against the Los Angeles Lakers. I think the Lakers are gonna, emerge triumphant, but to be honest, Anthony Davis against the Joker is gonna be, I think it may be the telling tale in this. LeBron's gonna do what he's gonna do. Jamal Murray has definitely came into his own. He was, we all knew he was talented, but my God, this playoff season, he's definitely shown out. But I think it's going to come down to those guys' performance. Whoever doesn't perform consistently throughout that round, that series, I think is going to be ultimately the loser. But I'm going to go with the championship pedigree of LeBron James and go with the Los Angeles Lakers will win that series. Cam Newton with the New England Patriots gets his first win as a Patriot. Definitely showed that his legs still work, and he could definitely hurt you with the legs, running for 2 touchdowns. We'll see as the year goes on whether he's able to pick apart these defenses, which he has shown in his career that he's able to do. He stays healthy. It's going to be quite interesting to see what goes on with the Patriots. As far as these two players from the Dolphins trying to snatch his chain, I don't know why people think that they're Debo and Friday trying to snatch people's chains. I don't understand what you're trying to prove here. You're a sore loser. I hate losing. But to sit here and try to snatch somebody's chain because he's giving you the business, just the only way to, if you don't like a guy who's doing his thing or giving you the business or just getting the best of you, come better. You have another game to come at him. It's the Dolphins. So your AFC East division rivals, if you want to call it a rivalry, with those two teams. But, it's a division foe. You're able to see these guys again. Just come back better next time, and maybe you get yourself a win. But to snatch somebody's chain, that's a coward sucker move to me. To me, you shouldn't be wearing chains anyway. You're playing football, but that's your money. So if your chain gets popped in the midst of all that game, that ain't my money. But just still, to purposely go and snatch somebody's chain, that's a coward move to me. September 13th marked 24 years that we've lost Tupac Shakur. I think a lot of people don't understand how special this guy was. Most people from our era do, but a lot of people don't understand how important and vital it is that this guy has been and the contribution he's made towards music. I feel rap would have been totally different had he still been around. His message was just different than most of these rappers that you hear now that are just glorifying drug use and just debauchery and just negativity. Pop music, he's viewed as a quote-unquote thug, but he's speaking as an oppressed black male growing up in America. And his music was a reflection of that. Did he venture off and get into, preoccupied with the situation with Biggie and other New York rappers and music stuff, yes, those things definitely happened. But at the core of it all, Pac was about the movement. He was about the culture. He was about bettering and raising awareness for the black community. Even in the midst of all that, All Eyes on Me, he took a break from that. You have your songs and bars and lyrics where he alluded to it, but it was more. It was a lot. It was more of him being locked up, coming out, and him just because the album was done in 2 weeks, so he was just happy to be out, back on the scene, and to bring music to people. And a lot of it was hit music. There's a lot of hits on that album, a lot of great songs, 27, I believe, songs altogether. But then on the Machiavelli album, you started to see him go back. Yeah, he had your song Bomb First, but he's talking again about Biggie, Against All Odds. But there's other songs, White Man's World, Hold Your Head, Blasphemy, where he's giving you a glimpse of the Pac that we all came to know before Death Row. A lot of people became fans of Tupac when he signed with Death Row because they wanted to hear the negativity and the diss records and things of that nature. But the Pac that we all grown to love and know, wasn't preoccupied solely on that. He would address situations when he felt he needed to, but for the most part, Pac was about the movement and the culture. That's where he comes from. Black Panthers, from his mother, his stepfather, uncles, aunts, Hassan Shakur. So, I just think, it's imperative to reflect and just really, go through the catalog. There's Tidal out there, YouTube, whatever, search or stream you want to use, Spotify, and just, just reacclimate yourself into the music. You know what I'm saying? Because he put a lot of great work out before he passed away. Also great in the movies. I would have loved to see him continue on with other roles so he could not play the typical roles that people expect him to play. The thug role, the negative role, which is why I believe my favorite movie was Above the Rim, but I believe his best work as an actor would be in Poetic Justice. He showed a different side, the softer side, the side of a single father who's trying to do right by his child and support his child, working as a mailman, and just showing vulnerability when it came to the scene of him crying, which we've never seen in any Tupac movie, or him at all in interviews or anything like that. But we know Pac was raised by a woman. It doesn't make him any less of a man, but it makes him understanding and sensitive to the woman more than most rappers want to allow themselves to show, even though most rappers are also raised by single mothers. So just, R.I.P. to Tupac, 24 years, it goes by fast. I remember when everything started to happen and everything, all the news broke out of him getting shot on the 7th and then dying on the 13th days later. It's just a great loss we took, and it's still, as far as I'm concerned, still felt even today. Well, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up here. This episode won't be as long as the last one. I was giving all my football picks. Then one after this may be along the same lines as I give my picks for the upcoming week again. These are just some points that I wanted to touch on the last few days. With that said, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their evening, the rest of the week. You'll be seeing me, if not tomorrow, the next day after that, which is Saturday, I believe. Lord willing, I'll be back again with some more info, sites, insight. Once again, everybody, feel free to comment whatever you feel you disagree with or agree with in the comment section. Hit like and subscribe, and tell me anything that you want. Again, more topics, any subjects you want me to touch on, you would like to hear about. Drop it in the comment section. I'll read it. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to it, and I'll address it immediately. I'll even give you a shout out as to the person who give the idea for the next topic and subject. So with that said, everybody, Godspeed. Have a great day, great night, and I'll be speaking to you soon.